coming into focus on how you think about move forward, but with caution. Where are you today?
Well, as you say, Chris, that was our mantra in the recent years leading up to 2020. I viewed the market as follows: high level of uncertainty, low prospective returns because the Fed had lowered interest rates so much, high asset prices, and risky behavior on the part of investors trying to earn a high return in a low return world. And when other people act in a pro-risk manner, we should be cautious. As Buffett says, the less prudence with which others conduct their affairs, the greater the prudence with which we must conduct our own affairs. Their risky behavior makes the market a risky place. So we've maintained for a few years now that mantra, move forward, but with caution. What it meant was we were investing. We're not hesitant to invest. We were investing every day. We were trying to be fully invested. We were essentially fully invested, but with caution. And when I say that, we are always cautious. We believe in bringing a risk-controlled approach to our risk asset category. Our asset categories are not gilt edge. They all involve risk. And we think that a risk-controlled approach is the best way to produce steady returns, which is what we aim for. So we came into 2020 with a cautious portfolio. We didn't know what would go wrong. We didn't know what would bring the longest bull market and the longest economic recovery to an end. But we thought that the markets were vulnerable to a shock. And of course, they got a shock, an unforeseen shock. As you say, when we spoke in February, we probably couldn't have spelled coronavirus or COVID, but we did get the shock, and the markets capitulated. The S&P went from about 3380 on February 19th to about 2230 on March 23rd. Only 4.5 weeks later, down 33.9%. But then the Fed and the Treasury came to the rescue. In mid-March, on March 23rd, the low, the Fed announced an expansion of its programs, and the market roared back. And everybody first says, well, that's a dead cat bounce. And then they said, as I did, that if you look at past cycles, the market has bounced and fallen further and bounced and fallen further and bounced and fallen. That's how you get to a bottom. But this time it went straight up. And there have been, it reached 3,500 around August 31st, up 56% from the low. And there's been some backing and filling, but this last week it moved to an new all-time high. So we were very aggressive in mid-March. We put a lot of money to work when the markets were under pressure and people were eager to sell. But now we're back to moving forward, but with caution. We've been managing high yield bonds and distressed debt over the last recent decades through three crises. The first high yield bond crisis was 1990-91. The second one was 01-02, and the third, of course, was the global financial crisis in 08. And in each of those, we saw deteriorating corporate results, falling security prices, margin calls, meltdowns, people eager to sell, and eventually panic selling, which gave us a great opportunity to scoop up bargains at the low, which we always have done. But this time, it's quite anomalous because we still have the COVID, and at the moment, worse than ever, although there's a lot of light at the end of the tunnel thanks to the vaccine. We still have an economy which is well down from the 2019 level, and yet we have securities at all-time high. I still think we have uncertainty and now we have even lower prospective returns than we did a year ago, thanks to the Fed taking the interest rate to the Fed funds rate to zero. We have full to high asset prices, and we have the reemergence of risky behavior. The point is, you take your typical defined benefit pension plan, it needs 7% to make the math work. And at a time when cash pays 0 and treasuries pay less than 1 and high grade bonds pay 2 and high yield bonds pay less than 5 and stocks are expected to return 5 or 6, you can average those numbers out any way you want and not get 7. So people have had to move into risk asset classes. It's been great for alternative investment firms like ours, but the challenge of making a decent return in a low return world exists and has moved to the forefront.